Can you hear anything?
I can.
Wow, Emily always said she can't hear anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're an improvement on that. Nice. I'm going to turn up mine a little bit. Let's see. Is that louder? Yeah. I like to get it just right so I can, feel the presence of the vibration of the talking. Has to kind of vibrate in my head.
Is that the normal volume in your head when you're just thinking to yourself?
Probably, because it's pretty loud in my own head. So, but of course you have to tone it down when you talk to other people. You have to be a little more normal. You can't just have all those things screaming out. So it's all a balance when you're plugged in. It's an odd dance. So, well, I'm so glad that you arrived here, John Obrien, on the 11th Hour Radio. Just in time at the 11th hour. Literally, John just stepped into the studio.
I did.
And he looks just great. He looks so healthy. What have you been doing?
I don't know.
You have no idea.
That would make me healthy.
Is it coaching soccer? What is it?
No, that's beginning today, so I can't lay my
health
to coaching. It'll probably go the other way, actually, for the next 6 weeks.
Start the downward
That's
slide.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the harried soccer coach.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's really, you're going to get exhausted when all the parents start fighting with each other, right?
Right.
That's what's exhausting. It's not the kids.
It's like Magic Mountain with 5th and 6th graders.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? You look healthy. But you've been gardening.
Yeah. I was down at Dr. Duffy's yesterday. Do you know Dr. Duffy?
In Tunbridge?
No. This was in Windsor.
Oh, Dr. Duffy.
Yeah, in Windsor.
What does Dr. Duffy do?
Dr. Duffy is the curator of St. Gaudens.
No kidding.
No kidding. And he's got a place in Windsor, and I am now his gardener.
Congratulations. Is he
Thank
a real
you.
doctor or like a PhD?
Yeah, he's a PhD. I think he's an expert in the Gilded Age of, let's see, I wrote it down somewhere because I had to Google him. Oh, the phone's ringing, but I guess I'm not going to answer it. I can't multitask that much, I'm afraid. So whoever you are, maybe you can't hear us.
You mentioned Duffy, so
Yeah, maybe
the other Duffy.
Yeah, right. It's Duffy time.
So is Dr. Duffy a physician or a PhD in the Gilded Age?
Yeah,
both?
He's an expert on the art and culture of the Gilded Age, and evidently he flies around the world giving scholarly lectures on his topics.
Wow.
He's quite erudite. Is that how you say that?
Yeah. Erudite?
Well,
did you add a syllable?
Yeah, I did, but I thought that's how you said it. I don't know why.
I've heard people say it that way. So.
Yeah, erudite. Because when you try to go for the U, erudite, it sort of adds an E. Even though,
Right.
can you spell it? Let's have our spelling quiz now. Erudite.
Erudite?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. What a great word. It feels like you could eat that word. Right?
How do you spell piccalilli?
I have no idea. Pick a lit, like with two
Does anybody-
hyphens, like pick
No, it
a
was
lily.
Piccalilla. I didn't know what it was. I was at Clark's Trading Post in the White Mountains, and they have a little museum there, and they had menus from the great hotels of the Gilded Age.
Oh.
And there was one that had one of the courses or one of the options was something called piccalilli, and I didn't know what it was, so I came home and I looked it up, and it's a pickle relish, kind of peppers, things like that. Good name, though.
Well, I bet there's some people around here who can actually make it.
Yeah.
Some of the
Somebody
old
called
ladies.
yesterday to wish Emily happy birthday at 6:30 in the morning.
Nice.
And she was like, I know what piccalilli is. It's a relish.
Oh, so you put it on your answering machine.
I did.
Whoa. Well, actually, it's something to bring up at the Tunbridge Fair, maybe.
Yes.
Right?
They probably had a
Because
piccalilli contest.
Well, that's it. If they don't, maybe it's something we could bring back. Because there must have been one at whenever the fair began, which was what? What do you know when the fair began?
140 some years ago.
Wow, that's a long time ago. 140 something years ago.
And Euclid was at the first one. No, not really.
Oh, I know. I was just, wait a minute. Let me do the math. I'm not very good with math, but that doesn't sound right. Yeah.
Fred Tuttle said he went every year to the fair. And I was like, oh, come on, when you're a baby. He's like, yeah. He was born in July, and his mother took him September. But then he missed, actually, just for the war, World War II. He missed 3 years or something like that.
But it was still going through the war.
Yeah.
They would need it then.
I guess, yeah, it must have. It wasn't like Major League Baseball, which stopped.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it did.
People need a little frivolity, even if it's forced during wartime. And
that's what Hollywood said. They kept making movies.
Yeah.
So we must need frivolity now, or entertainment.
Oh my gosh, do we? It's something that we all have to work on. Just doing fun things and clearing our brains. And stacking wood. You know, it is firewood season now.
Oh, don't remind me.
Officially, yes. Well, you know it's firewood season when you do your first moving stack A to location B. Then you know it's starting.
How many times do you move your wood?
That's really a good point, because this particular pile was stove wood. It was little stuff, and last year I didn't know where to put it. There was so much of it, and we just dumped it. Well, we threw it from the back of the truck onto the back porch. And that was fine, and I thought it's easy access to my cook stove, and I'll use it all up. Well, it turns out I didn't use it all up. I didn't hardly use any of it, and so I moved all of that. Maybe a third of it went into the house, and maybe the rest of it to the front of the house, because that's where I had the best spot for it. It just wasn't in a good spot anymore. But
it's not new firewood.
No,
or I guess
it's in good shape. It's nice and dry.
I guess if it's a carryover, it's like, it's like town budgets. If you didn't spend it all, you still have a little for next year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so you've got to move some.
How many cord do you need?
Oh, don't ask that horrible question. I mean, that's not counting the stove wood. It's probably 10 cords for my house. I do not have one of those small, super efficient houses. You guys probably... is your wood stove in the basement? Do you have one of those?
We have a wood furnace,
yeah.
Which isn't really efficient. But
with a blower?
Yep.
Uh-huh. You might want to get radiators with water in them.
People have mentioned that.
Yes, I like that system.
Right, well, it's nicer heat.
Yeah, nicer heat. And radiators just look good. You know? They look great.
They do.
Oh, yeah, they become like little pets.
Do they clank?
No, that's the steam kind. The steam kind clank.
Oh, this is
water, just hot water. Yeah. I always used to worry about the steam ones blowing up. I don't know why. I mean, probably half of New York City, well, this is a stupid quote because I have no idea, but that's where you hear all those steam radiators is in the city.
Clanking
away.
Blowing up.
Oh, yes, urban legends.
I remember them from schools for some reason. I think our school may have had one, Newton School.
Uh-huh. And that would have been a soundtrack to your studies in the winter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I heard this crazy thing, speaking of soundtracks, that there's a sound, what do you call a sound artist? There's some name for it that's a little more elegant than that, but there's a guy who's been putting together a soundtrack to create an audioscape of a infamous prison in Syria. And so he's talking to people who actually escaped from the prison, and they've been working together, collaborating to recreate the sounds that the prisoners hear. Because what they do is they lock them up in a room, and some of these people were in there for 3 years, just never leaving one room. And so their whole world was built. I mean, how they experienced reality was based on what they could hear. And they had to, every time a prison guard came in their cell, they would be expected to be facing the wall with their hands on their face. And if they weren't, they would get beat up. So it was very important for them to hear what was going on. And that actually, I mean, this is a little bit of a gruesome story, but this is the reality of our horrible world. The prisoners had some kind of relationship with birds because the birds would come down to try to get the food. But the birds could hear the guards coming before the prisoners could. So the birds became a kind of early warning system for these prisoners. Anyway, it's fascinating. Just as a recording engineer, I thought that's a really interesting thing to do.
Did this guy have access to the prison?
No.
Or they were going to recreate some of these sounds? Yes,
and sometimes they working with these former prisoners, it would often take them a long time to recreate a certain sound. They'd have to find materials that could create that sound accurately. And that wasn't easy.
This is what you do in the studio.
Well, I am interested in sounds. I don't often use them in music recording, every once in a while. But in the back of my mind, I keep thinking that sound collage is something that interests me. I just haven't had the opportunity to expand into that. But I was going to ask you about your relationship to natural sounds. Like, do you have certain sounds in nature that always evoke a response in you or provoke a response? Like if you hear a certain kind of a bird call, does it make you feel a certain way?
Well, certainly birds.
Any particular birds?
Things like chickadees, which are and blue jays, which are a big presence in the colder months. And then in the warmer months, it's like thrushes and ovenbirds and robins and
can you describe
songbirds. But I'm not. The people who really know their birds, it must be amazing. It must be like dogs with their smells, because they can walk down a road and be like, I hear an oriole in that tree and a warbler over here. And
yeah, but that's a kind of a different. That's like people who can do plant ID.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what I'm talking about is just, can you describe what you feel when you hear a very ordinary sound like a chickadee?
Right.
Give you a feeling?
Or like geese flying overhead.
Yeah, that's a good example, because
you feel one way or another like winter's coming or spring's coming.
You can feel excited about that, or you can feel depressed by that. I guess people go different ways on that.
Right.
But doesn't a chickadee change their call? They've got two different songs.
Right, they have that Phoebe call, which is, more of a spring type call. And you don't really hear it too much now.
Do you notice when it changes?
No. I mean, I hear it, but I don't know if it's consistent. I think it's not like, oh, it's, town meeting day and now we're going to break out the old Phoebe sound. Right.
Right.
So I don't know if it's that specific, but
yeah,
it is a nice thing to hear when you hear the warmer days coming. You hear that sound.
Yeah. It's, for me, I think it's just so much a part of the fabric of my life here that all of a sudden I'll notice that it's changed, but I didn't notice when the change occurred.
Right.
So there's some kind of beauty in that it just rolls on.
Well, it's funny, what just before your Syria prison story, I thought you were I heard the end of a piece on the radio about a guy who was doing some sort of sound collage, he was an audio artist type guy, and he was saying things like New York City. If you ask people, visually define New York City, it's always, the Empire State Building or Yankee Stadium or something, that tourists would see. But then when you describe the sounds you hear in New York City, they're much more sort of mundane things like, cars,
garbage trucks.
Yeah, exactly.
I always think of garbage
radiators,
trucks.
Right?
Radiators, yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Sirens and garbage trucks, yeah. Honking.
Yeah, because it's very likely to be woken up in the morning by a garbage truck. That would be, I bet that's an alarm clock for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, those big trucks that pick up dumpsters.
Right. And probably the same here for us in
Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, trash pickup, I don't have that in my town.
No. I'm saying the equivalent, though. Like, what would those equivalent sounds be to you here?
The rooster, the neighbor's rooster.
That would do it.
Sometimes. Yeah, I can't think of any other morning sounds. You probably have some at your place. Anybody with the animals might have added sounds. Do the sheep do anything in the morning?
Sometimes they'll be bawing, yeah.
What for? Why?
For breakfast.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they eat?
Oh, I'll bring them grain or apples or something.
Yeah, so they expect you.
They do.
At the same time?
Pretty much,
You get up early.
Pretty early.
What time?
Like 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh. And you're out there by when?
By between 7 and 8, probably.
Yeah.
Depending on the day. I mean, they're not like dairy cows. You don't have to be there,
Yeah.
at exactly this moment, but...
Yeah. That's
but
nice
they expect you.
That must be a nice feeling to have a herd of sheep that's looking forward to meeting you every morning. It's just like makes you feel wanted. And
well, probably your cats, right?
yeah, it's true. But I'm not as excited about that. They always annoy me a little bit in the morning because they think I might feed them something. And that's bad training on my part, that sometimes I do give them a little piece of butter or something, some little treat. And so they never know. They're hopeful, yeah, but I'm very inconsistent about it. It's bad training. Just for anybody who wants to train their cat, don't do that.
So they don't get any food in the morning, or they just have dry food?
They have dry food that they can go to at any time. But they come into the kitchen and they actually
more.
Yes, and they get mad at each other because they don't like being in close proximity. So they swarm into the kitchen and then they look at each other like they hate each other. And then they beg. It's just awful what I have to put up with.
So what's on your list today?
Let's see. What do I have on my list? Well, this was something I thought Emily would really go to town with, but she's not able to be here today because of various things. There's a sick horse at the farm, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
It's having breathing issues. So whether it has like asthma or an allergy or something called strangles, which sounds bad.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be the worst case scenario.
That would be bad. Well, I heard this term, which I had never heard before. Let's see if you've heard of it. Tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp you'd never heard of?
No, had you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did you hear of it?
I have one.
What?
No.
You do not, you liar.
You'd never heard of a tramp stamp?
I guess a guy couldn't have one, could they? Or
why not?
A certain kind of guy. I mean, a
hobo.
A generic guy.
I haven't heard that term for a while, but you should define it for people.
I think you should. Well, I'll do part of the definition.
You've seen them?
No. I mean, yes, maybe, but I just...
well, you would know it if you saw it.
Would I? It's a small tattoo of some type. Does it have to be in a particular
I don't know
place?
If it has to be small.
Does it have to be back here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm pointing to my lower back.
Right.
And it's very small.
Is it small?
Yes.
Maybe.
I think by definition it has to be small. It's like a stamp, a tramp stamp. And I guess I'll say no more on that topic, but I thought it was a very interesting term.
Right. I don't know what the origin of it is.
Yeah, I can only guess. But
it's the sort of thing like plumber's crack area, sort of, that you would like.
To use another term,
right,
that's popularized.
That you know what it is, right?
Yeah, I do. I do
see
know
it
that.
Anyway.
Well, sometimes I have.
And there it would be. There would be the tramp stamp just
above the plumber's crack.
Just in the sky of the plumber's crack.
In the sky of the plumber's crack. That's good. Wow.
So where did tramp stamp come from? How did you hear about this?
I was reading an interview today between Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer. That's how it came up.
Okay. Lena Dunham probably has a tramp stamp. Or maybe Amy Schumer. Maybe they both do.
Yeah, I think
they both have tattoos.
I think Lena Dunham does, but Amy Schumer was complaining that is it Howard Stern or Glenn Beck or one of those guys had referred to her tattoo as a tramp stamp, and she was offended because it was way bigger than that, she said.
Oh.
So she took offense at the term.
You used the wrong term.
Yeah, it was the wrong term.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really into tattoo culture.
Do you have a tattoo?
No, I don't. But I'm getting to like them better.
Do your children?
I don't think so. I'll have to take a survey. Because as far as I know, no. But,
I never would have guessed 20 years ago that it seems like half the population beneath a certain age, say beneath 30, would have tattoos. I mean, it's unbelievable how
it really is. It really is.
Have become a cultural thing.
Yeah, I've been noticing the upper arm ones. There's some very, very elaborate creations, pieces of artwork on people's arms going around Vermont. So keep on the lookout for them. They go by quick.
They do.
Well, I had somebody in the studio this week that had a really nice one. I didn't look too closely at it, but it had a good effect. It was kind of cool. See, as before, I would have thought it was not cool, but I'm changing. I'm upgrading. I'm updating.
You're open to
other forms of art, body art.
I saw, I think, this old guy somewhere, I can't remember where, who must have been a real Navy veteran from World War II or Korean War or something, and he had, like the half-naked mermaid sort of thing on his arm, and it was so bad. It was like, that's sort of what tattoos were growing up. I mean, it was, all blurry, and I mean, it wasn't going to go anywhere, but you could tell it was like a 1945 era tattoo.
And maybe
we've come a long ways with tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, my son has a tattoo that Stefan Lutz put on him, I believe. Was it Stefan? No, it was Raphael Lusada gave him a tattoo.
A real tattoo?
With a pen. Well, it was said, no, they did it, Oh, I guess they must have done it with a needle or something, right? How do you do a homemade one in your bedroom without proper sterilization?
I don't know.
That's how it was done.
Probably a needle of some sort.
Well, they picked a very interesting object to embed into his skin. It was the goddess of the harvest, Ceres,
right? Who's on the top of the State House?
Oh, well, it was some symbol relating to her that they did,
and
it
nice.
It was kind of a botched job. It looks terrible, but it was a nice idea, sort of.
And is it still there?
Oh yeah.
Is this somewhat
maimed
series?
Yes. Yeah, those kids grew up with a lot of mythology.
They did.
Yeah.
Roman mythology.
Yeah, all kinds of Zeus and that crowd, and then a little bit of Nordic thrown in.
Right, because it's Wellspring.
Yes.
Waldorf.
That's right. Waldorfians enjoy the different schools of mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So they did Greek, they did Roman, they did Norwegian, they did, I think they did some African, possibly. So they tried to mix it up.
That's good.
Very diverse of them. Good.
Well, that's why Emily, over in the Morrill Homestead there, is the front parlor has, this sort of distinguished Morrill, Protestant senator's front parlor, and they're
stiff
on the mantelpiece are these lovely sort of, they're probably, I don't know if they're marble or not, but they're probably plaster, but of like naked Uma with a tiger and Ariadne with a panther or something. It's just funny that Victorians are like, if I just pretend it's mythological, I can get away with this.
Well, they
strange
didn't
mix,
Yeah, they didn't have many avenues to express that kind of thing.
Right.
That would have been, hard pressed to express that in another way.
To put nudes, right?
Yeah.
Around the living room.
Yeah.
You can get away with it if it's mythological.
Yeah, I suppose that's not anything that's very widespread even today.
What?
Nudes in the living room. I mean, can you think of anybody's living room that has a nude in it?
Unless it's like a hipster or artist of some sort might have. Yeah, there's a Venus de Milo there too.
Okay.
So that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, I like they're nice, but just surprising, right? That this old Victorian senator would have it, and all the hipsters today don't.
You have something interesting in your kitchen, don't you? I'm trying to remember what it was. What's on your wall? What kind of artwork is in your kitchen? I know one time I was there and I looked up and I saw something interesting, but I don't know what it was. And you don't either.
I don't know. Well, there's a print that somebody, a friend of my mother's, gave her that was sort of inspired by, I think, some African or Mediterranean or something like that.
Is it a landscape?
No, it would be more like, it's almost architectural, like a Roman arch thing.
Oh, huh.
Like that.
Wow. It's interesting what we put on our walls.
How do you decide what you put on your walls?
Usually I think about the wall surface first and how I'm going to destroy it. You
have real art, though, don't you? Like paintings and
I have some,
sculpture.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have a little bit of real art. That's part of the reason that I like wood walls, because you can bash into them and you don't feel bad. So a bunch of my walls, I find it very easy to pound a nail into a wooden wall. But if it's sheetrock, I just hate that. I hate that feeling of sinking something into sheetrock that's going to have to get patched later. And plaster is even worse,
Right.
So I don't know what the solution is, but...
no art.
Well, I try to put my art. I know I've got 2 photographs, framed photographs on the back of my cupboard because it's wood. I've got a wood wall with a lot of family photos. Yeah, we might have destroyed sheetrock here and there, but not a lot. Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, those sort of beautiful Japanese rooms that are so minimal.
Yeah, they don't hang artwork, do they?
Don't hang,
well, maybe a scroll.
Something like that.
Yeah. A scroll with some bamboo or a landscape. But how do they hang it? Well, they're so light. I think the scrolls are made on cloth.
And just where's all the other stuff?
Where's the stuff?
The Kleenex and...
They must have a regular house and back.
Storage locker.
Yeah. Yeah. When the woman disappears into the back room, she just...
Right.
There's a whole nother thing back there. But it's cool. I like fakery.
I like minimal, but do you really know anybody who has like that sort of minimalist home?
Just bachelors sometimes, but that's not by design.
But it doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't. Well,
Or if you've actually found a bachelor who has almost like a Japanese temple room, that's impressive, as opposed to like video games in a pizza box.
Yeah. I know. It's unusual in Vermont to see something to see a living space that's pristine, because we just tromping too much dirt in on a normal day.
That's true.
And weather comes
Firewood.
through the windows, firewood.
Cats.
Animals.
Cat vomit.
Sheep. Right. That's right. Just don't even try. Yeah. Well, it's so easy to talk to you. Look, we've totally missed the first track of music that we were supposed to play at 11:20.
Uh-oh.
It's 11:30.
Ass Cap's on the phone wondering what happened.
Oh, don't say that, because I'm not paying them, because I'm just playing my friends mostly. So if some royalties collection agency came after me, I would just go to like Spencer. I'm going to play one of Spencer's tracks, and Spencer would just say, "Oh, it's okay."
Lewis.
Yeah,
I'm just playing my friend Bob Dylan song. You could name drop there.
Exactly. No, okay, I'm going to play a track from Spencer Lewis here. It's called Believing. Wow, I like that organ. I think that must have been Chuck Eller. I'm going to guess. That's who that was playing the organ. Yeah.
What kind of organ?
A Hammond. I always say...
Hammond B12. It's like a vitamin.
No, that's what I always say. I always say B12. It's a B3, right? But I say B2. I'm always scared to even say it because I always say the wrong thing because I think of the vitamin.
Right.
And that's just that might be a generational thing because musicians who are maybe 10 years older than me would never, ever make that mistake.
Because they're unhealthy.
That's probably true. Well, they're trying to get healthy fast now,
right?
In their 60s.
It's a little late.
Yeah, they're definitely quitting drinking and stuff like that. So it's good. I mean, it's good to get scared sometimes.
Kristina Stykos, this is your lucky day.
Really?
We have
a
gift card from Emily for you.
Oh my gosh, Bed Bath & Beyond? I know why she did that. Because I told her that I never ever got towels in colors that I liked because...
And now you can.
Emily, what a sweetheart. Thank you.
How did she get that?
Thank you. This is happening on the air.
I think. Right, she got that card, did she tell you?
How'd she get it?
Because one of her Zumba ladies lost her wedding ring. I think this is right. And Emily found it under the bleachers. And as a reward,
oh my
this woman
gosh,
gave her a Bed Bath & Beyond gift card, which I am the proud. Pay it forwarded to you.
Yes.
Paid it forward.
Wow. That's fantastic.
What color towels?
I'll have to go see what they have. I don't know. It's going to be a hard choice. And if they don't have the right colors, I'm going to come back later and check again. Because this is my big chance. Big, big, big chance.
Will the people who stay at your Airbnb get to use these towels?
Yes. Yes.
That's a selling point. Matching towels.
Yeah.
Matching new towels from Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if I've ever been in a Bed Bath & Beyond.
I have once, or maybe twice. There's one up in
what's the Beyond
Taps
part?
Corners. What's Beyond about it?
Yeah.
Beyond something that's not a towel or a
storage
sheet.
locker.
It's the other crap. The other plastic crap. Beyond means plastic crap. But, we all like a little plastic crap in our lives. Let's be honest about it, right? If you see a nice,
avoid it.
Yeah, there's occasionally some nice piece of plastic crap that does something that you might need it to do. Yeah. So I'll take a gander at the plastic crap also. But really, this is my big chance.
Towels.
Yeah, towels. So I got another card like this in the mail the other day. It was a set, these little Visa cards temporary Visa cards that have a certain amount of credit on them that now companies are using as a refund. Rather than getting a cash refund or a check, they send you a piece of plastic and you have to go use it.
Like Amazon or something.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, I've been really trying to use it up right away because it expires. And they probably know that half the money that they're supposed to be giving back in refunds will never be claimed.
Exactly.
So they save a lot of money by doing it this way, which annoys the heck out of me. So I'm going to use mine. Yeah, this was for buying tires up in Montpelier. They pushed a certain type of tire on me, and I just was so, And
you got a rebate in the form of a Visa card?
Yeah, you have to fill out all this stuff. They make it really hard. You have to fill out all these forms, and then it took this was last spring, because I got a new set of tires in the spring, and just now I'm getting the $70 rebate card.
How are you going to use that $70 at Bed Bath & Beyond?
No, I bought gas last night down at the Sharon Trading Post. Before that, I spent $10 somewhere.
Keeping it automotively in the family.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Tires, gas.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mountain Grove coffee.
Yeah, stuff that I don't need to... Wait a minute, what? That awful coffee from Flanders Market? Is there anywhere else that sells that?
I think they do.
Do they? Is it...
Over here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be insulting towards that awful coffee, but...
It might be... If it's really hot, it might be okay.
You mean if you can't taste it? If it's so hot that you can't taste it? Like...
Right.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, that totally makes sense to me.
Well, even good coffee sometimes, if it's in a thermos and it's sort of lukewarm, that really bothers me. Like I like coffee really hot.
Piping hot.
Yeah. That makes a big difference.
I agree. Even if you just take one sip of it while it's piping hot and then you let it sit for a bit, the fact that you've gotten that hit of hot coffee, it's just satisfying.
It is.
Yeah.
Like I made a cup of tea yesterday and then something happened, phone calls and sheep running across the lawn or something. And I, like an hour later, found the cup of tea that I just about was ready to drink and it was room temperature now and it just didn't seem very good anymore. You
said a sheep running across the lawn, right? That's what you just said?
Right.
That might have distracted you from your tea.
Animals getting out, right? I can't remember what it was, but there was some mini crisis.
How often do the animals get out and you have to chase them?
Oh, depends on the day.
So every day,
right? Every day, the cats get out. Yeah, the kittens.
No, it's not the cats. Well, really? Kittens. They're not supposed to go outside. Why? Because they'll get eaten by predators.
Right. That's what Emily thinks. The fisher's going to get them, or they'll get run over by cars.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But
I've had both those things happen to my cats.
See, well, that's why.
Run over in the driveway and eaten by fisher cats. Yeah. It's just part of being a Vermonter, I guess. So,
you should run. You should run for governor or something, and
yeah,
your campaign ad could end that way. You can come on and say, "I approve this message." It's like, well, of course you approve it. It's like you've just had a 30-second commercial about how awesome you are, and the candidate comes on in the end and be like, "I approve this message."
Yeah, but it would be if you were saying something terrible about the other candidate, and then the candidate that's running the ad would have to say they approve of the negativity.
So you don't hear that, but they should actually, right?
Well,
they should be.
They do. They have to approve of the negativity.
No, but they don't run negative ads with their own money now. They run it with
with the super PACs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Kind of true. Yeah, I was just making a little list on the way down. Of all the towns that I've lived in Vermont, do you think you could? Well, I
could. Yeah, I've lived in Tunbridge.
Is that it?
That's it.
Really?
So I'm done. Your turn.
Okay, well, we'll get to the second list. Well, my list is Burlington, Winooski, North Ferrisburgh, Hanksville, Lincoln, West Corinth, and Washington.
Did you alphabetize them?
No, I could, but I didn't. No.
A lot of W's there.
Well, Winooski and Washington. That's it.
And West Corinth or something you said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. West Corinth. Yeah. And then I thought, well, okay, that was too easy. Now I've got to do the names of the towns where I've spent the night.
Oh, wow.
That would be an interesting list. That's way longer. Do you think you've spent the night in a lot of places in Vermont?
Maybe. Some. Not too many, though.
Really?
Because in Vermont, you're always within a drive of your home.
You'd think, but I started thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to read my list.
All right.
Okay, this is where I've spent the night in Vermont.
Are you going to tell the story of why you spent the night in all these places?
No, there's too many. I could.
Yeah.
You could pick out one if you want and ask me. Okay, so I'll give you the list, then you can pick out one that you think is particularly interesting, and I'll tell you why I was
like
there.
The car broke down, or...
Yeah, exactly.
It was a romantic thing, or I had food poisoning.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah, okay. Newfane, Jamaica, Brattleboro, Stockbridge, Chelsea, Middlebury, Starksboro, Canaan, Barnard, Arlington, Putney, Middletown Springs, Ludlow, Killington, Burton Island, and Grand Isle.
Burton Island?
That's up in St. Albans. It's a state park. It's an island off.
In Champlain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So...
Anything stand out there for you?
Burton Island and Canaan, those are the two.
Canaan, yeah.
You don't just get to Canaan unless you want to go there.
We had a gig up in Colebrook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we stayed on Lake Wallace up there, which I don't know if it's technically Canaan, but that was the general area that we were in. So
Brunswick Springs, Canaan, what's the other?
Not Brunswick Springs, Middletown Springs.
No, right just below Canaan.
Oh, there's a place called Brunswick Springs?
I think so, and it was this famous sort of, I think, Native American spot where there are like 5 springs in a row, and each one has like a different color coming out and pouring into the Connecticut.
What do you mean?
Like one is like coppery and one is like, perfectly clear and one's green. I don't know.
Naturally?
Yeah, naturally. It's very unusual.
Oh, I'd never heard of that. Did you stop and read a marker, a historical marker?
Probably.
I knew it. I know a little bit about your propensity for stopping at every single historic
markers.
Do you know my older brother does that too?
Really?
Yes, you're kindreds.
Wow.
He totally does. You can't get anywhere with him.
Well,
a simple
historically,
trip.
right? You got to go.
Well, he studied history in college too.
Okay.
He's got that interest. But okay, well then the historical marker right at the edge of the Vermont Law School.
Yeah.
Jessie Bigwood, Smallwood. What is it? Jessie
LaFontaine or something.
Yeah. Do you know what she was? What she did?
Was a legal person.
I think she was the first woman to graduate maybe from Vermont Law School, something like that. I wrote it down. Oh, she was the first woman admitted to the Vermont bar.
Oh, okay. The first woman.
Yeah.
What year?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Okay, but that's impressive.
I'm trying to learn these things. I've only driven by the sign about 5 million times, but I'm determined that maybe by the end of the decade I'll know what the whole sign says.
Well, it's like I still haven't stopped at the Wagon Wheel Farm.
Where's that?
On the corner, going north up 110.
Oh, by the mobile station?
No, it's right on the bend in the river there. It's where a lot of law students live in this house now, but it was a private home that was open for tourists, and they advertised. And when what's his name, Hopper, the artist, Edward Hopper, stayed there, and that was his space when he painted around here. And then I think also Fred told me that when Eleanor Roosevelt came to Tunbridge to see this experimental CCC camp that my father was in, she wouldn't go to the outhouse and had to go all the way back down to this wagon wheel farm to go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
So she may have stayed there.
Wow, that's like me at the gardening job yesterday.
At Dr. Duffy's?
Yeah, the house was locked, and it's right in the middle of Windsor, there's no bushes to hide behind. There were bushes, but I just thought, you can't do that.
You had to go to the Cumberland Farms?
No, I didn't go anywhere. I held it in all day, so I didn't drink any water. I didn't want to add to my misery. So by the end of the day...
Sounds bad.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do these things as a gardener.
But Windsor has public restrooms.
Do they? Where? I was wondering.
There's a Cumberland Farms.
Oh, that kind of public restroom.
As opposed
to no. I mean, some places actually have, like, the town provides, like, up in Chelsea, you can go in the town hall and there's a restroom there.
Oh, that's nice.
That's kind of nicer than going in a convenience store.
That's true.
Yeah.
So probably I don't know, the Constitution House or something.
Where's that?
In Windsor, where Vermont was started, and there's a historic marker there.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend who lives there, so I eventually ended up at his house. This is one of your overnights. No, I haven't spent the night there.
In Windsor?
No. I couldn't include Windsor, unfortunately. Mm. No.
So what happened on the island in St. Albans?
We camped out.
Okay.
I went up with my friend Rob Miller and his 3 kids. I had my 3 kids. He had his 3 kids.
Yep.
And we did one of those major single-parent forced family fun events.
And didn't you go to PEI or somewhere?
Oh, yeah, we did that too.
Wow.
With 6 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. His kids mutinied. They were just at that age, and they were, kids get angry. They go through phases. His were definitely rebelling
and yours weren't?
Well, not in the same way. I think when the other kids are acting out, then your kids just look really good. But it's certainly, they were good until we were in the car, and they were just having a bad car trip. But what saved us in the end was I had brought along Great Expectations on tape. That saved the day. Charles Dickens
to the rescue.
Yes, even though they were pretty young, but after the first 20 minutes or so where they were complaining about it, they became totally absorbed in the story. It's the most incredibly wonderful story. So anyway, that's a tip. Next time you guys go up to PEI, try it.
We were. What did we listen to? I think like Wind in the Willows, and
that's a good one too. But really, I'm going to recommend Great Expectations. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the kids are ready for it.
With some great actor with a great English accent.
Yes, exactly. Those are the best, I think. That's what I think. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting, all these places I've stayed. I mean, some are for festivals that I've played at, like Middletown Springs is where Solar Fest is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do in Jamaica? Oh, that was Windham Hill Inn. I was thinking I haven't really stayed in that many inns in Vermont.
Right.
That would be fun to do. They're just kind of pricey, you know? I've stayed in some motels in Vermont.
That's less pricey.
Yeah, just because I had to.
What about the one,
know,
the Fairly one where the drive-in is? The motel drive-in movie theater.
What, there's a motel and a drive-in together? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I know the Fairly drive-in, but...
It's a motel, too.
Did you stay there ever?
I never stayed there.
Maybe we should do a field trip, like, with the families. Just go over there.
Spend the night.
Yeah.
They would like that.
Is Chapman's still open?
I think so.
Chapman's is cool.
Yeah.
They have used books still.
They do.
I love that store just because it has used books and it has sundries.
Right.
Sundries.
And not too much plastic crap.
Yeah, fine. They have
the beyond part is like used books and old like fishing equipment.
Exactly, but they have a little toy section. So we'd go do our laundry. I would take the kids and we'd do the laundromat tour of Vermont, where we'd try out a new laundromat in a new town. That was one of the best.
There's a list for you.
Yeah, that is a good list. I could do a pamphlet of best laundromats in Vermont for kids, for taking kids to. Yeah. Huh.
A historic one, because a lot of them probably aren't open anymore.
Yeah. Like soap opera. Actually, that's still
really?
open. That one's still open. That? In Barrie. You don't know that one?
Is that in South Barrie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like that one. But really, I liked Star Wash the best, but they closed it.
Where's that?
That was in Montpelier.
Star Wash.
Isn't that great?
That's good.
I just had such a beautiful image from it of thinking of a washing machine filled with stars that are being washed. I just love that.
You could write a song about that.
Yeah, maybe I will. But if anybody's feeling down today, just think about the Star Wash, because all your stars are in there getting cleaned. And when they come out, they'll be all brandy new. That's good.
There you go. You got the first verse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could sing it very well, but
Star Wash. Yeah. Well, it's like I think hair cutting places, hairstylists, there should be a list of those places, because they're always puns, and I like puns.
Oh, yeah, puns.
But it's unbelievable, the variation. Like if you like sort of themes with variation.
Well, like
think of all the hair cutting places and stylists, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, like Hair Forte. That's a place I went in Burlington. I mean, I don't know what it's a pun for, but it's kind of a cool, like, Hair Forte. It's something.
It's just weird.
It's yeah.
But they're always like Sheer Madness or Main Event or Best Little... Oh, what was it? It was in Bennington, wasn't it? The Best Little Hair House in Bennington or something like that. Really great names.
God, that's, Emily and I we're gonna do this little booklet of laundromat names, but we should do the hair names too, because those are funny.
That's the sequel.
Yeah, but I saw a truck the other day. No, yeah, maybe it was a truck for a tree service, and the name of the tree service was Trees R Us, like Toys R Us, with the R in the middle. That's something that people use a lot.
It's a little dated now, but...
Yeah, I never understood what it meant. Like, what? Toys R Us? What does that mean? We sell toys? What? Toys R Us? What? I just don't get it. I just never liked that.
What kind of toy are you if you had to be a toy?
Toys maybe a peg thing where you've hit the pegs with the hammer.
That's what you thought of?
That's what I thought of. That came. I just used to love that with the colored pegs.
And what, you whack them with a hammer?
Yeah. You get a little workbench tiny little workbench, like about a foot long, and whack them in, turn it over, whack them out.
Oh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. Try it. Sorry you missed that.
We'll bring it in next time.
Yeah, I don't think I still have mine. I have other toys, but I do collect vintage toys.
Oh.
I know I've said this before in the show, maybe briefly, but I have this great garden set from England. It's plastic, but it's
mother's?
early plastic. Well, my great aunt, Gertrude, sent it to me from England. And you make a garden. You take the little plastic parts and you make a garden, and it has even a garden roller.
Whoa.
You know those things that flatten.
Is it like dollhouse size stuff?
It's even smaller. It's almost too small to work with. It's not it wasn't designed very well, but somebody could redo that and it would be a great fun thing. You know, they have little flower pots and you take a stem and you have a tool and you push it in and then you put a little blossom on top of the stem and then they have a piece of green plastic that's a lawn and you put the lawn down and then you can run the roller over it. It's fun.
Sounds great.
I want to go home and do it now.
Probably the mice are doing it right now.
No, it's plastic.
Well, mice don't mind playing with plastic.
Really? I thought they like stuff they can chew up. They're not going to chew this up.
Yeah, it's a toy, so they want to play with it. They don't want to eat it.
Mice are us?
Yeah, mice are us.
Yeah.
Hey, I ran over a rat.
Oh,
the other day, which have you ever driven over a rat?
Have
like
not.
Roadkill rat?
No.
That was weird. It was like, I just ran over a rat because we don't really...
Did you see it? Was it in the yard?
It was crossing the road, and I hit it like a squirrel or anything else, and I looked back, and you could see it tumbling, and it was distinctly a rat.
Oh my gosh. You don't think of rats in Vermont too much, but they do live here too. They share the state with us.
They do. And it was crossing from, one side of a decrepit place to another, and I ended its life.
Its sad life ended with tragedy. But back to the Star Wash.
And then I almost had a goat, like a little bit later on the spring road. A goat ran right in front of me, so it was like really odd. I
had a porcupine run in front of me.
Wow.
I had a porcupine a day for 3 days in a row.
Is this like a health tip for all you aging musicians? A porcupine a day.
Well, I just figured it was good luck.
It seems like
three's a charm.
It seems
like
something
what
out
I'm
of
saying.
Roman mythology.
That's right.
Or maybe more Native American.
Yeah. So
Did you hit any of them, or you just...
No, I didn't. I screeched to a halt and I didn't hit any of them. It was close, but...
Was it the same one? Was it wearing like a little...
totally different places. Totally different parts of Vermont. Yeah, I've been driving all around. We have to end the show.
Already?
Yeah, I know. See, we'll get the accurate time on the computer. Yeah, see, we're almost like less than a minute or...
And for people who tune in to listen to music, they were really disappointed.
They were disappointed. We skipped a track today, but it was just the conversation was going that way. I didn't want to disconnect the flow. So anyway, you have been listening to 11th Hour Radio with Kristina Stykos. That's me. And my co-host today, John Obrien. You're listening to WFVR-FM-LP. We're in South Royalton, and it's been just really great to have you, John.
Thank you.
I'm always shocked when Emily cancels at the last minute, but somehow it just, it's like works out just fine. It's good practice for me, and I get to hang out with you.
And I get to hear about Star Wash.
Exactly. Okay, well, we'll go out on one of my tracks. It's called Let's Cherish the Day. See you next week.
Come away, come with me now. Rise in the stillness, don't make a sound. Step through this doorway, blue as the sky. We'll find a way, we'll find the time. Come away, Open your eyes, walk in the river of the sunrise. Follow me quickly through willow and pine. Gather your senses and share what is mine. Let's cherish the day for all that we've seen. Cherish the winds of change, for against them we lean. Cherish the tears of love, pure channels through time. We'll find a way. Let's cherish the day for all that we've dreamed. Cherish the leaf and the journey, the current, the stream. Cherish the crossroads and those left behind. Cherish your life. Come away, there is no lie under this hemlock, under this sky. Come empty-handed, blessed and new. Lay here beside me, hidden from view. Let's cherish the day for all that we've seen. Cherish the winds of change, for against them we lean. Cherish the tears of love, pure channels through time. We'll find a way. Let's cherish the day for all that we've dreamed. Cherish the leaf and the journey, the current, the stream. Cherish the crossroads and those left behind. Cherish your